women in so many communities doing so many amazing things. And we are actually a community band ourselves, women. We are Batalá. We are the Batalá band here in Washington. We play samba reggae rhythm. And what you see here is just a fraction of our band. We have about 19 members here today. We're actually 80 women total. So it's massive. It's really big. Thank you.
Great. So, is that working? Okay, there we go. So the music that we play, as I mentioned earlier, is samba reggae music. And the music hails from Brazil, a state called Bahia, which is the Afro-Brazilian capital of the country. So the music samba reggae, or also known as samba reggae, it has its roots in the civil rights movement that was going on in Brazil in the 70s and early 80s. And it was all about using music as a way to reconnect with their identity, which is a lot of them had come over their roots with their ancestors from West Africa during the slave trade. And it was a way for people to reconnect with their identities, to reconnect with the culture and language of Yoruba, and also with the drumming that's connected to their spirituality in the religion that they celebrate called Candomblé. So the drums that we have here is a representation of the drums that you'll also see in Bahia when you go there for Carnaval. How many of you guys have been to Carnaval? Yeah? Ooh, there's a couple. Great. And so it's not the Rio style of Carnaval, which is more of the samba, when you see like a lot of the women with the big headdresses and the zeze. But for us, it's Carnaval for the people. So these are all people's, like, community bands that you see when you go to Bahia, and the capital, Salvador do Bahia. So the type of drums that we have we have 5 different types of drums, actually. So the first one that you see are the melody makers, who are the dobras, which is sort of a medium or mid-range bass drum, and they sound like this. I'm going to do that up. Exactly. So that's the dobra, which is the medium-sized bass drum. And then you have the repiques, which are the high-pitched tom, and they play the clave. So that's usually the main core or rhythm, rhythm, I guess you could say, that we play with our music. So the samba reggae rhythm goes like this. Good. So that's the samba reggae rhythm, and then these two drums talk to one another. It's call and response, which you see in a lot of West African drumming, which is connected to a lot of the religious sort of spirituality and practices that you see. So the dobras will call and the repiques will respond, and vice versa. Sometimes the repiques will respond and call, and the dobras will talk back to them. Then we also have the caixa, which is also known in US as the snare. And so the caixa, played by Renee, today she's actually they oftentimes play similar music to what the repique play, but they're the ones who are providing the filler that connect the entire band. So in addition to samba reggae, they also play samba duro. And they also play a little bit of samba. So then, the thing that you could probably hear when you're about 3 miles away is the surdo. This is the big bass drums. And all the drums that you see here, you see different sizes, and it's really great because talk about a community band. All of our women who are playing surdos, they come in the band and, they're sometimes physically fit, but within like 6 weeks to 6 months, boom, they've got big old muscles, and you can see why. These are very large drums. They're heavy bass drums, and this is really the magnet that will pull you into the music that we play. So we call it the heartbeat. And this is where you have the surdo 1, which is the very deep one, sounds like this. And then you have the upper register surdo, which sounds like this. And you put them together, and they sound like... And then you have the caixa with samba reggae. And then repique. And then you get the melody maker, the dobra. Great. Okay, so what do you guys think? So these girls, they work so hard, 5 to 10 hours every week just practicing, in addition to actually playing, and they build their own drums. So it's pretty great. And so since we could tell you a lot more about Brazil and about Afro-Brazilian culture, but what we'd really like to do is, since the theme is community voices, that we wanted to also introduce you to some of the members of Batalá and their experiences. So we're going to start off with Brandy Stevenson, who is a dobra player. And here you go.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. As Allison said, my name is Brandy. I've been with the band for about a year and a half. My experience with the band is one word: amazing. If you think about like the top 10 or 5 things you've done in your life that have been like the most amazing things you've done in your life, this would definitely be top 3. I found the band actually, I was riding the metro. I got off and I heard this noise, I heard this music, and I was like, where is it coming from? We were practicing in Farragut Square. After that, I said, I found my people. And this is where I've been ever since. The experiences we've had, the venues that we've played, I can't put into words. We're all volunteers. And the fact that 80 women commit to doing this on a weekly basis every Saturday with, you know, nothing in return but thank yous from fans when we walk down the street. It's hard to miss us with the drums, but when we walk down the street and people run up to you and say, I love you guys, that's what we're doing all this for. So we want to thank you for inviting us to perform for you.
So yeah, Brandy's been in the band for a year and a half. We're actually only 4 years old. And in addition to that, a lot of the members don't have any drumming experience at all. So to see what you see today, this is just dedication, it's hard work, but it's also the music. It's so magnetic, and it's something that, you know, a lot of people probably drop some bills with their psychologists and counselors after joining the band, because this is our therapy right here, as our founder, Solange, often says to us. So next up, we have Jewel Everhart.
Hello. I was asked to speak about a half hour ago, so it was a little off the cuff. When I was about 10, I went to the music director we had in school and said, I want to play drums. And they said, oh, we don't have any drums, and maybe next year. And then the next year I said I want to play drums, and my mom said, little girls don't play drums. And so I had to play the clarinet. No offense to the clarinet, but it wasn't the drums. I wanted to be Animal from the Muppets. Animal. I saw Batalá, and it was, you know, love at first sight. First you hear the drums, then there's a magical thing when you see it's all women playing the drums. And that's... So I started playing because I wanted to play the drums. What I didn't know was going to occur was the transformation of my life. The women empowerment, which is part of our mission, spreading Brazilian culture and empowering women, I couldn't have known what that could bring to me. These women, the 80 of us, the sisterhood, but the power that comes from making this noise with this drum gave me a voice that I'm almost 40 and I'm going to change my entire life. Next year, I'm going to Brazil for an entire month for a spiritual, you know, experience that I hope when I come back and I start my own business that hopes to empower women, you know, this Batalá brought that to me, and I hope that, you know, we can inspire you in this TEDxWomen thing to do the same thing. So thanks.
And on that note, we're gonna play a little bit of reggae for you guys. that was started off with reggae, and then we went into funk. And that funk song that you saw is one of the first songs that a lot of us learned when we first got into the band. You like the funk? Yeah. We do too. So one of our missions, we actually became a 501c3 nonprofit after about 2 years of working on it. And we secured it last fall, like early winter. And it's been a big sort of responsibility that we're stepping up to, because not only are we all volunteer, that also means that we really have to fulfill our mission, not just to ourselves, which is, as Jewel mentioned, to basically be promoting Afro-Brazilian culture and music, but it's also, and in addition to also empowering women, which, by the way, the type of music that we play with samba reggae, it's traditionally reserved for men. So there's actually a lot of bands, when you still go down to Bahia for Salvador and for Carnaval, that you'll see a lot of them are all men. But they're slowly allowing in more women. But then this is actually, you know, it's one where there's Batalás around the world. There's about 20 of them total. And there's 3 of them that are all women, but this is the only one that's all women in terms of even the founders and the musical director are women. So, which is a huge accomplishment. Also becoming a 501c3, it's that we want to, in addition to doing sort of the mission that I mentioned earlier, we also want to be reaching out to youth and young women who might not have otherwise opportunities to basically play in a band like this. And so I want to introduce you to Jessica Reed, who is in charge of our community outreach program.
Hello. So my name is Jessica, and I also have the privilege of being in Batalá with these wonderful women and with the probably like 800 or so drummers that call themselves Batalá members around the world. And one thing that's really exciting for me in Batalá is not only the stress relief that I get every Saturday or Friday, whatever time it is that we can, through our music, give back to our local community and our international community. So one thing that's really cool about Batalá is that all of the instruments and the costumes that you see, and our mallets and our sticks, all of that comes from Brazil. It's sort of a challenge to get it back sometimes, but it's all made by a local community that we partner with in Brazil. We have a sister band there called Cortejo Afro, and all of this stuff that you see reinvests in that community that's given us this music. So we do that every year, and we send, when we go to Carnaval, we send school supplies, and we bring a lot of money and have a lot of fun in the community, but we try to reinvest in that community that we feel has given us a lot. And then on the local level, we try to do the same thing. We try to bring this music to communities that might not normally have access to it. So last year, we partnered with a community center in Northeast called the Riverside Center, and we did a 6-month program with youth from that community, teaching them this music. And these were grade school kids who in 6 months learned like 8 of our songs. It took me like 2 years to learn those 8 songs. So it was really amazing to see and get the girls out to a community that, you know, we don't always get to go to and get to experience. So we try to take the music to other people, whether it be doing a guerrilla show somewhere in the community or doing a program. So if anybody has somebody that they would maybe like us to partner with, definitely let us know, because we're constantly looking for ways to bring this arts and culture to different folks who don't have access to it. Thanks.
So if you guys want to keep up with us, because we are pretty busy, it's actually, right now it's sort of our slower season. In the winter, we like to sort of take it easy, because it's mostly indoor gigs that we do, which are smaller bands. It's typically the spring and the summer and really in the fall, where we can sometimes have up to 3 shows, 4 shows a week. And we've also been going up to New York for quite a few performances as well. So it's one where this is a community band, and we are open to all women, 21 plus. It doesn't matter your skills, your talent, your knowledge of music. It doesn't matter if you think you have no rhythm at all. Like, this band is open to everybody. So if you want to keep up with us, you can go to our website, which is batalawashington.com, or you can go to the Facebook page, which is also Batalá Washington. And so we have just one more song. It's also one more song. It's actually a series of songs. If you notice, our songs seem to be like 12 minutes or 25 minutes. And it's because it's a combination of songs. And you can see me sort of cueing down different songs, which each have a symbol, because it's for use during Carnaval and for longer performances, which can be, you know, 7 hours long, actually playing straight. So, and that's part of the experience that Jewel and some others are going to be having when they go to Brazil this year. So, but this is our last samba reggae song. So, and if you like our music, then you're welcome to actually stand up and show it.